Delhi's southern ridge is now officially protected as a reserved forest, and it only took 30 years. Hello and welcome to The Print. This is Akanksha Mishra, and today I will be discussing the latest notification issued by the Delhi government, which demarcated 4,080 hectares of the southern ridge as a reserved forest. This order is a significant win and it marks the protection needed for the Delhi Ridge, which is an outcropping of the Aravalli forest that covers the National Capital Region. The southern ridge, which includes areas like Asola, Ayanagar, Tughlakabad and Maidangari, is by far the biggest section of the Delhi Ridge, which itself stretches across 7,777 hectares inside Delhi. Now, this southern ridge has been notified under Section 20 of the Indian Forest Act 1927 as a reserved forest, meaning that there can be no encroachment, no tree felling, or any non-forest activities in that area. Other parts of the ridge, like the northern ridge, the central ridge, and the south central ridge, together form only 20% of the total Delhi Ridge area, with southern ridge taking the lion's share. Its notification effectively protects a large chunk of Delhi's green lungs legally. The biggest thing, however, is that the Delhi Ridge has been waiting to be notified for over 30 years. In 1994, the Delhi Forest Department had first declared its intent to protect the ridge as a reserved forest, and they had notified it under Section 4 of the Indian Forest Act. However, this notification is only a preliminary protection, and the Section 20 notification is the most important one, and it actually provides legal protection to the ridge. This Section 20 notification is what has evaded the ridge for 31 years until today. The reason for the delay was because to declare any forest as a reserved forest, all land disputes and claims must be settled and all encroachments must be removed from the forest area by the Forest Department authorities. However, Delhi's ridge was a very contested land with many authorities, including the Forest Department, the Delhi Development Authority, the Sports Authority of India, and multiple village sabhas claiming ownership over the ridge land. This is why between 1994 to 2025, only 103 hectares of the 7,777 hectares of ridge land had been officially notified as a reserved forest under Section 20. And this lack of notification of the ridge also made it difficult for activities like ecological restoration of the ridge land to take place. Without first identifying what is the ridge and what its official ownership is, it's difficult to go ahead with restoring in landscape, removing invasive species, and increasing the green cover. Without proper notification, the Delhi's ridge has languished in disrepair with encroachments, waste dumping, and tree felling in multiple places, sometimes even by government authorities. The quest to notify and protect the ridge was a cause taken up by environmentalists and activists in the city too, with a spree of pleas that were filed in the High Court, the Supreme Court, and the National Green Tribunal over the past 30 years. One of the most famous ones was the 2013 plea filed by activist Sonia Ghosh in the NGT, who kept following up and asking for the final notification, first in 2017, then in 2021, and again in 2024, while the Forest Department kept delaying the process. Now finally, the notification document for the southern ridge lists down the exact areas of each village, including the hectares, the specific khasras, and also the geo-coordinates of the land. This is to make sure that in case of any encroachment, the Forest Department has the records to prove that the land belongs to the state and is protected by the law. As much as the ridge's notification is a win for Delhi's forest, the fight is far from over. While 4,080 hectares of the southern ridge are now officially a reserved forest, the remaining 2,000 hectares are yet to be notified. Aside from that, other parts like the central ridge, the south central ridge, and the northern ridge also remain unprotected on paper and under the threat of encroachments. That's all we have for you today. Thank you for tuning into The Print.